Pressing your hips back as you draw your knee up and over. Opening up your hip here. Let's do one more on each side. And then coming to a low wide squat, feet wide on your hips, toes turned out. Bend your knees down, arms are out to a T. Reach down, tapping towards your opposite inside ankle. Coming back upright, shoulders stacked over your hips. Arms extend long out in opposite directions. Let's do one more on each side before staying low in that squat, keeping your shoulders stacked over your hips. Arms are forward in a windmill motion, chest is lifted, core is engaged. And then go ahead and reverse the direction of the arms. Open up your chest and your shoulders here. Stay low in your squat, hands to your hips, slightly hinge forward at your waist. Give yourself a nice big hug and then squeeze your shoulder blades together as you lift your arms up towards the ceiling. A few more breaths here. And then coming down to a rounders lunge, right knee down, left knee forward, untucking your right toes, pressing your hips forward, opening up that right hip, chin and chest is lifted. As you straighten that front left leg, draw your hips back, maybe point and flex or circle out that left ankle. Hold the left toes flexed, hinge forward, framing your left foot, maybe bringing your nose towards your knee, heart towards your thigh, feeling that nice deep stretch all on the back side of your left thigh. And then gently rolling up, switching sides, left knee down. Take a big step forward with your right foot, pressing into your right knee. This time allowing your left hip to open up, chin and chest stays lifted. On your next exhale, draw your hips back, straighten that front right leg, maybe point and flex or circle out that right ankle. Hold the right toes flexed, hinge forward, framing that right foot, maybe bringing your crown of your head towards your toes. Really enjoying that stretch in the back side of your right thigh, stretching out that hamstring. Go ahead and come to a standing position, roll your shoulder blades back, roll them forward, maybe grab a sip of water. All right, we're gonna start and grab those weights. First up we have is a narrow row as we step that right leg back, warming up your upper body, warming up your right leg. Squeeze the base of your glute as you extend that leg back, stepping back the ball of your right foot. Really grounding through your standing left leg. Have a nice bend in that standing left knee. Maybe drawing your arms up even higher. Palms are facing in. Narrow row as you simultaneously step the right leg back. Elbows stay tucked in towards your body. Maybe trying to get your arms even higher each time. Just a narrow step back. Just the right leg. Narrow row. Narrow step back. Here, then we're going to hold that right leg, step back. Give me two more. All right, last one. Hold the elbows lifted. Hold that right leg straight back. We're going to lift that back leg as we bend and extend into the elbows. So you're lifting that back leg. You're lifting your arms, keeping them nice and high. Extending your elbows straight. Core is engaged. Keep that bend in your front left knee. Avoid locking out that left knee. You can hold on to a bar ledge if you like with your left hand and just working that right arm. Keep your core nice and engaged. Elbows stay close in towards your body. Squeezing the base of that right glute. Trying to keep that right leg straight. Maybe point through the toes. We're going to set that right leg down here in just a moment. Just a lift and a lower. Elbows extend, elbows bend. Give me two more. Lifting higher each time. Last one. All right, go ahead and draw that right foot in. Maybe step out the legs. Go ahead and bring the arms down by your side, palms facing up, feet are hip width apart and parallel. We have a narrow squat to a bicep curl. Just warming up that lower body a little bit more. Chest stays lifted, palms are facing in. So as you squat down lower, your palms are coming up to the same collarbone. That's it. Just a squat with the bicep curl. Few more here. We're gonna hold that squat hold next. Keep it going. Deeper bend into those knees each time, chest is lifted. Keep it going. Give me 2 more. All right, hold that squat. Hold the bend in the elbows to about 90 degrees. From here, we're gonna hold that squat nice and low, keep the body completely still. Bring the arms out, draw the elbows in, extend, draw the elbows in. So you're holding those arms and a narrow hold. Palms remain facing up. Keep it going, grounding through all 3 points of each foot. From your big toe back to your pinky toe, straight back towards your heel. Chest is lifted. Keep your shoulders relaxed down from your ears. Maybe relaxing your forehead. That's it. We have that left leg reversing back. And just a few, keep it going. Arms extend, elbows pull in, keeping your arms close in towards your body. Just a few more. 1 more here. All right, draw the arms in. Maybe walk out the legs. From here, this time we have a narrow row. So your palms are facing towards your heels. Have a soft bend in both of your knees. Keep that bend in your right leg. We're gonna step the left leg back. Elbows lift up towards the ceiling. Just the left leg steps back, pressing the ball of your left foot into the floor as your elbows simultaneously lift and lower. Sculpting those shoulders. Core is engaged. Hold that hinge forward, drawing your navel in towards your spine. Few more here. Almost there. Just a couple more. If you lose your balance, just come back into it. Try to find a single focus. 1 more. Hold the arms and hold the leg lifted. From here, we're going to extend the arms and lift the leg. So just your toes are barely tapping down to the floor before lifting right back up. You're holding that left leg straight back. Your elbows stay bent. You're lifting and lowering as you extend and bend into those arms. Imagine you're flying. Keep that core nice and engaged, pulled in towards your spine, drawing that navel deep in towards your back. Try to keep that left knee locked out. Keep that bend in your right knee. Hold that hinge forward. Left leg straighter. Elbows extend. Elbows bend. Palms stay facing in towards your heels. Grounding through all 3 points of that right foot. 2 more. Last one. All right, go ahead and step it out. From here, bring your feet slightly wider than your hips. We have a hammer curl. Palms down by your side, palms facing in. Draw the palms, your knuckles up towards the collarbone. As you come into that squat, chest stays nice and lifted. So your feet are just slightly wider than your hips. You're drawing your glutes back as you draw your thumbs into the same collarbone. Keep it going. Few more here. There. Palms stay facing in. So your palms are still close in towards your body the entire time. Squat with a hammer curl, working those biceps. 2 more. Last one. All right, we're gonna come down onto the floor. We're going to find our tabletop position, and we're going to work that right leg first. So from this position, we are going, you restart our timer, find your tabletop, wrists under your shoulders, knees are under your hips. We're going to extend that right leg straight. We're going to flex the right toes. We're just going to lift and lower. So you're working the base of your right glute. Now if you'd like, of course, always keeping your core engaged, drawing your navel in toward your spine, making sure your back is flat, so not arching your spine, not rounding it up, keeping it nice and flat as you lift and lower. Option here, you can keep your left hand flat on the floor. If you want to add more heat to your core, you can lift that left arm up, draw wide behind your head. You can also place your palm facing up on your lower back. Bringing your palm here, I love this move because it allows you to really notice if your back is arching or caving outwards. And of course it works more of your core. Right toe is flexed, a lift and a lower. All right, go ahead and hold that right leg lifted. Keep the right toes flexed. From here, we're gonna bend and extend, just bending and extending into that right leg. Of course, your left hand can be down. Your left hand can be lifted behind your back, behind your head. You can also extend it out long if you'd like. You can grab that weight in your left hand as well if you'd like as you simultaneously work that right glute, just a bend and extend. Try to keep that knee at your starting position. Don't let it droop down towards the floor. Almost there. Keep it going. Just a bend and extend. Maybe gazing down between your thumb and index fingers. All right, last one. We're gonna hold that right knee bent, still with your right toes flexed. We're gonna tap that right knee down, and then we're gonna press it up, tap it down, and press it up. So you're bringing that right knee back in line with your left, and then you're pressing up. You're pressing your sole of your foot up towards the ceiling, maybe as if you're trying to stamp your sole of your foot up on the ceiling. You can tuck or you can relax your left toes, whatever preference you have. Keep the right toes flexed. Press up and release. Very gentle movements here, slow and controlled. Be pressing that right knee up higher towards the ceiling, stamping that sole of your right foot up even closer. One more. Go ahead and hold the sole of the foot up towards the ceiling. Now we're going to point the toes. From here, we're going to hold that right leg lifted. And we have tiny little presses up. So we're not releasing that right knee down towards the floor. We're keeping it lifted. You want to try to keep it about hip height, maybe slightly higher, maybe slightly lower. And you're just doing little tiny presses up from that starting position. So you don't want to come down. You want to keep that knee up super high. Trying to stay close and high at the same time. Tiny little presses. That's it. Little press up. Two more here. Engaged. All right, give me two more. Last one. Hold that leg lifted. So with the toe pointed, right back to where we started, we're going to extend and bend. So you're keeping that knee high. If that knee lowers, that's okay. The fatigue is setting in. That's all right. Just be mindful and lift that leg back up. You want to avoid opening up your hip. You want to keep that hip in line. So if your hip droops down towards the floor, or if you end up opening up that hip, we'll do the side hip here in just a moment. You want to just continue to work the base of the glute by holding that right knee lifted. Your right hip is completely parallel towards the floor. Imagine that your hips are headlights. Keep it going, just a bend and extend. Strong point through the right toes. Just a few more here, and then we're gonna hold that right leg straight. All right, hold that leg straight. We're gonna tap over to the right, up and over to the left. So you're making a beautiful rainbow arch with that right leg. Try to keep that leg nice and straight. If you get a little tiny bend into it, that's okay, but try to be mindful and straighten it back out. Keep the strong point through your toes. Keep those hips facing down, so you're lifting and lowering. You're still working the base of that right glute. Your core is engaged, lifting up and over. Just a few more. Give me 3 more up and overs. All right, 2 more. One more, you've got it. All right, maybe I fibbed just a little. We're gonna do 1.5. So I want you to bring that leg up and over, back to diagonal, flex your right toes, and gaze looking over your left shoulder. Just a nice stretch here. Hold it for 3, 2, and 1. All right, come on down. We're gonna lay on that left side. No need to bring your weights, but if you want to bring them, you of course can. We're just gonna lay onto our left hip, our left forearm. We're gonna keep our knees bent. We're gonna draw our elbows wide. We have a clamshell with a hip lift and a lower. So just a lift and a lower. Of course, you can do just the clamshell and lifting the legs. You can keep the feet together. You can also keep the knees together and just lift the hips. Combine the two, makes it an outer right hip work, a glute work, and an oblique stretch. Lift and lower. That's it, fantastic work. Keep that right elbow wide behind your head. Keep your top right shoulder stacked directly over your bottom left, so avoid letting your shoulder come down forward. Give me 1 more. All right, go ahead and relax those hips down. We're gonna come laying all the way down onto our side, just like we're laying at the beach. Maybe prop your head up with your left hand, extend your legs out long. From here, straighten your top right leg, strong point through your toes, reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. We're just gonna raise and lower. Now we're working that outer part of our right hip. Now, if you find that you're rolling forwards or backwards, if that top hip is not staying stacked directly over your bottom left, few options here. You can box out that top right hand. You can also draw that bottom leg up, bending that knee in towards your chest. Whatever option suits you today, keep that point through your right toes. Try to keep that right leg nice and straight. Just a raise and a lower. Keep it going. Hold that right leg up to the ceiling, strong point through your toes. Now we have tiny circles. Drawing them in either direction. Maybe let's hear something outside. Keep it going. That's it. Tiny circles. Just the fingertips up towards the ceiling. What is it? Circles. All right, go ahead and reverse that direction. Yes, that means we're about halfway through this move. Tiny circles here. I want you to think about trying to draw the smallest circle that you can. Really point the toes. Really try to keep that knee straight. But if you can find a little bend in the knee, that's okay too. Just drawing those circles as small as you can. All right, hold that leg straight. Flex your toes. Now we're going to lower and lift. So notice the stretch with the flex and the extension with the point. You can still keep your right hand up high towards the ceiling. You, of course, can box that arm out. You can keep that bottom leg bent. You can extend that bottom leg. Right toes remain flexed. Just a lift and a lower. The height that you get that top right leg is totally up to you. Everyone's body is different. Maybe you can draw your knee up towards your forehead. Maybe you get it up to about 90 degrees. Maybe it's a 45-degree angle. Whatever works for you in your body today. Slowly raising, slowly lowering. All right, we're gonna hold that right leg up to the ceiling so with your right toes flex. So if you need to bend that bottom left leg, please do so. Draw your top right arm up towards the ceiling. We're gonna bend that right knee and then extend. So you're bending and extending. So you wanna try to draw that top right knee up, maybe towards your top right elbow, your right shoulder, and then extend. It does not have to touch. You can, of course, always do it the diagonal. Keeping that bottom left knee bent. You can also keep it straight. Keep it going. Just working that top outer right hip here. Almost there. We're going to roll onto our back next. All right, last one. Go ahead and roll onto your back. Grab those weights, laying on your back. Your neck is flat on the floor. So from here, bend your knees to 90. Knees are over your hips, one weight in each hand. Tuck your chin to your chest. We have bicycle arms and legs. So as your leg extends, the same arm also extends. Your shoulders lifted off of the floor. The depth that you bring that leg and that arm, make sure it's hovering, is up to you. The lower towards the floor the arm and leg extend, the more core work you're doing, the more heat to your core that you are adding. Just an extend, and then draw everything back to that reverse tabletop position. Back continues to be pressed in towards the floor. All right, one more on each side. From here, we're going to send our legs up toward the ceiling, extend your arms up toward the ceiling, and then we have a single leg drop and lift, drop and lift. So you're alternating. Going, you're alternating right to left, left to right. You're keeping your arms up high towards the ceiling. That's it. Try to keep your shoulders lifted. Try to keep your oh my gosh, I can speak today, I promise. Try to keep your chin tucked in towards your chest, but remember, you have that clementine under your chin, so you're not pressing your chin all the way down, you're just holding it lifted. All right, from here, go ahead and extend your arms out long. Extend your legs out long to a hover. We're going to tuck in, suitcase crunch, elbows towards your knees, knees towards your shoulders, and extend. Tuck everything in, and extend. Now, if you'd like, as you extend your limbs, you can tap them down. You can also rest your head completely flat on the floor, or you can hover your limbs with your neck flat on the floor. You can also tap your limbs with your neck flat on the floor. Many options here. The most important thing is that as you bend and extend your arms and your knees, your abs are engaged. Your navel is pulled in towards your spine, down towards the floor. Your lower back is pressed firmly into that floor. Not even a speck of air or water can seep between. Give me one more. All right, hold the knees in. Hold the arms up to the ceiling. We're going to send our legs once more up to the ceiling. Relax your head down. Extend your right arm, left leg. We have straight leg dead bugs. Draw everything in. Left arm, right leg. Extend. Draw it in. So same concept here, except your neck is flat on the floor. You're just gazing up towards the ceiling. Please don't drop the weights. Your legs are straight, your arms are straight, you're pointing through your toes. Try to keep one weight in each hand. You can, of course, always set the weight down if it becomes distracting. The depth that you draw your arms and your legs is up to you. We're going to come back and find that tabletop for the other side next. Don't worry, I didn't forget. That's it. Give me one more on each side. Right arm, left leg, extend. Draw it in. Left arm, right leg, extend. Draw it in. All right, tuck your knees into your chest. Maybe roll side to side. And then rock and roll a few times like a ball. And then when you're ready, all right, the fun continues. Go ahead and find your tabletop position. Once again, with your wrists under your shoulders, knees are under your hips. We're going to extend that left leg straight back. Strong flex through your left toes. We're going to lift and lower. Keep it going, just a lift and a lower. Maybe bringing your gaze between your thumb and index finger. Really try to avoid looking from side to side. I promise to keep talking to you all through this. Keep the distractions going. Just a lift and a lower. Your left toes stay flexed. Avoid looking side to side. Avoid hyperextending your neck forwards. Just gently bringing your gaze down. Relax your shoulders down so they begin to scrunch up. They make their way towards your ears. Just relax them down, being mindful. Just a lift and a lower. All right, we're going to go ahead and hold that left leg lifted. Keep the left toes flexed. We're going to bend and extend into that left leg. Bending it, drawing your heel in towards your glutes, and then extend, feeling that stretch. Slow it down as much as you need to. Same thing here. If you'd like, you can keep both hands planted firmly into the floor underneath the same shoulder. You can also tuck that right hand behind your back, palm facing up. You can bring your right elbow wide behind your head. You can grab that weight in your right hand and extend it out long in front if you would like. My favorite option is bringing your palm side up to your lower back. That allows you to avoid arching your spine, hammocking your belly down, or rounding your spine outward. Makes you really engage your abs. Keep that left knee high. Bend and extend. One more. Hold that left knee bent. Your sole is pressed up towards the ceiling. We're going to draw that left knee in towards your right and then press it up. We're really working the base of that left glute here on this side. Bend. Holding it bent the entire time, but you're drawing that left knee down to meet the right and then pressing that left knee up high. Palm can be lifted, palm can be down on the floor. Keep it going. Just a lift and a lower, keeping that left knee bent. We've been here before. We do this on the right side. So it's just keeping everything symmetrical here. No surprises. Left toes flexed. Just a lift and a lower. All right, one more. Hold that left leg lifted. Point the toes. You know what's coming. Tiny little presses up. So you're really firing up the base of that glute. You want to keep that knee bent. So if that leg starts to extend, just be knowledgeable of it. Be mindful. Draw that heel back in. Point the toes more. Pressing it up even higher each time. Imagine that you're trying to touch the ceiling with your left toes. Almost got my left and my right mixed up. With your left toes. Tiny little presses here. Little presses up. Tiny little presses. You've got it. We have 2 more moves here from our tabletop position, and then we're going to come laying onto our right side. All right, from here, hold that press up as high as you can. Keep the toes pointed. We're going to extend and bend. Feel that nice stretch as you extend that leg right back to where we started. Bend and extend, keeping the right toes, keeping the left toes pointed. Now those right toes, you can keep them relaxed. You can tuck your toes, whatever feels more comfortable for you. Most important thing is that you're not rounding your spine up. You're not hammocking your belly down, arching your spine, trying to compensate for keeping that left leg lifted. You're keeping your navel pulled into your spine. Just extend and bend. Left toes are pointed more. Maybe drawing that left heel closer in towards your glutes. All right, last one. Hold that left leg extended. All right, draw that leg over to the left side and then up and over to the right. Keep that left leg straight. Keep the toes pointed. The distance that you're drawing that rainbow is up to you. How far you're going from left to right, right to left, how high you get that leg is also up to you. You want to be mindful not to open up that hip. We're going to do those side hip movements here in just a moment on our side. You want to make sure you're not opening up that hip to the side. You also want to be mindful not to let that hip draw down. You're keeping those hips completely parallel, lifting up and over. Strong point through the toes. Just 2 more here. And then of course we have that stretch. All right, hold the left toes over to the right. Flex your left foot. Look over your right shoulder. Hold it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, release that left leg. Maybe bump the hips out side to side. Shake it out. All right, find your side laying position. So once again, you are on that right elbow. You're drawing your left elbow high behind your head. Few options here. Option 1 is to open and close that top knee. You can keep those feet together. You can also lift the leg. If you'd like, you can keep the knees together and lift the hips. If you want to do that outer hip and the obliques, you can lift the knee and lift the hips. Feeling that slight pinch in your outer left hip. Pressing up with your lower right hip. Pressing up. Releasing that hip. We're going to set that right hip down here in just a few. That's it. Give me 3 more. And 2 more. Last one. All right, good, and release down. We're back at the beach. We're tanning this side. Maybe prop your head up with your right hand. Extend your legs out long. Maybe draw your left arm up towards the ceiling. Point that top toe. Lift and a lower. Noticing maybe one side's different. That is completely normal. Maybe noticing how maybe this side you can get that leg a little bit higher. Maybe a little bit lower. Maybe you have more balance on this side. You do want to make sure that top left hip remains stacked directly over your bottom right. So if you're rolling forwards, if you're rolling backwards, you can bend that bottom knee. You can also box out that top left hand. You can do both. Keep it going. Just a raise and a lower. Working that outermost part of your left hip and your left glute. All right, next one, we're going to hold that lifted. Keep the pointed toes. Keep that leg straight. Tiny circles here. It doesn't matter which direction. Whatever direction you choose, whichever torture you choose to begin with, we will be sure to do the reverse. Keep the toes pointed. If that knee starts to bend, be mindful. Straighten it out nice and long. Tiny circles here. Right, reverse that circle. Tiny circles. Again, your bottom leg can be straight. Your bottom knee can be bent. You can keep that hand up towards the ceiling. You can release it down at any time. Keep it going. Tiny little circles. My dogs are going crazy. Keep it going. All right, hold that leg lifted. Flex the left toes. We're gonna lower and lift. Now notice here, notice the stretch as you lower that leg. Come here, Goose. Just a lift and a lower. Keep it going. Just a lift and a lower. That's it. Left toes remain flexed. Squeeze your glutes the entire time to make sure that you're keeping that left leg straight. We're going to hold that left leg up towards the ceiling here in just a moment. All right, hold that leg up towards the ceiling. You can draw your top arm up from here. We're just going to bend and then kick through the sole of that foot. So bend and extend. Now your leg can go straight up towards the ceiling. You can also kick it out to the diagonal. You're trying to draw that knee in towards the same shoulder, maybe the same elbow, and then kick through the sole of that foot. Bend and extend. Keep it going. Knee bend, knee extend. Set 2 more. Bend and extend once more. All right, go ahead and come back onto your back. Now from here, we're going to draw our knees in. We're going to draw our elbows in. We're going to extend our arms and legs up towards the ceiling. Hold your arms lifted. Lower your legs for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Tuck your elbows to your knees. Knees to your chest. Hold it here for 3, 2, and 1. Lift your arms and legs for 3, 2, and 1. Lower your legs for 3, 2, and 1. Once I get to a hover, tuck your knees to your chest, elbows towards your knees. Hold it for 3, 2, and 1. Once more through. Extend the arms for 3, 2, and 1. This time we're going to lower slower. Lower it for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Maybe 3 more. 2, and 1. All right, draw your knees into your chest. Roll side to side. Go ahead and plant your feet down. Your legs are zipped. The soles of your feet are pressed firmly into the floor, palms down by your side. We have a narrow glute bridge, raise and lower. So you're squeezing your thighs together. You're squeezing your knees together, squeezing your ankles. Your feet are flat on the floor. You're only lifting your hips. Try to avoid lifting your shoulders. Just a glute bridge, raise and lower. Imagine that someone has a string under your hips and they're lifting you up. Your hips and glutes are lifting up towards the ceiling, squeezing at the top, and then releasing down. All right, 2 more. Hold the hips lifted from here, knees open and close, open and close. Your hips stay lifted. Squeeze your glutes. You're working the outermost part as you open the knees. Drawing everything back in. Making sure that both knees are opening and closing, not just one. All right, hold the knees open. Walk the feet out so your feet are now hip width apart and parallel. Your hips are lifted. Now we have a lower and lift, lower and lift. That's it, just a few more. And 10. That's 9. And 8. 7. 6. That's 5. Last 4. 3. And 1. Hold the hips lower. Now we're going to walk the feet out wider than the hips. Toes are turned outwards. We have 10 and 9. Wide legs here. 8. 7. Last 6. 5. 4. Last 3. 2. All right, we're going to hold the hips there. I promise this is it. Open the knees for 10. 9. 8. 7. Hips higher. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Lower the hips. Draw the knees in towards the chest. Roll side to side. Try to keep your shoulders pulled down towards the floor. Extend your arms and legs up towards the ceiling. Point, flex. Maybe circle out your ankles, your wrists. Of course, reversing that direction. Go ahead and bend your knees, grabbing the back side of your thighs. Maybe grabbing the outside of your ankles. You can roll side to side. Happy baby. Nice lower back stretch here. Nice stretch, opening up your hips. We did a lot of hip work, a lot of lower body work today. Go ahead and come back, find the center position. Go ahead and extend your left leg long. Draw the sole of your right foot to the inside of your left thigh. Enjoying that stretch all along the inner left thigh. And then switching sides. Tuck your left knee and extend your right leg long. Sole of your left foot comes to the inside of your right leg. And then extend both legs long. High V. Still trying to keep your shoulders pulled in towards the floor. Bend your knees, bringing your soles to touch. Maybe rock side to side. Draw your knees together. Rock and roll yourself 3 times along your spine. Once more. All right, go ahead and come up, feet wider than your hips, toes are slightly turned out. Come over to the right side, right arm comes up, right bicep to the right ear, left arm down by your left ankle. And switch, right hand down towards your right ankle, left bicep towards your left ear. Come back to center. Nice big inhale. And exhale. Fantastic work. Thank you so much for joining me.